the morning.
Welcome back to our channel, soap opera fans. Today is a beautiful, thrilling day to dive deep into the latest twists in Genoa City. We have a massive update regarding the Abbott family that will leave you speechless. Grab a snack, settle in, and let's unpack the shocking drama unfolding right now on The Young and the Restless. The Young and the Restless is currently showing that Kyle Abbott is falling into the absolute worst nightmare any devoted son could ever possibly experience. The walls of his world are crumbling down around him in the most devastating, heart-wrenching way imaginable. His beloved father, the legendary Jack Abbott, is lying completely unconscious in a sterile, cold hospital bed, having been brutally stabbed and left hovering precariously between life and death. The rhythmic, haunting beeping of the life support monitors serves as a cruel, constant reminder of the fragility of Jack's life. Kyle sits vigil by his father's side hour after agonizing hour, his heart shattering into a million pieces as he watches the powerful, vibrant patriarch of the Abbott family reduced to such a vulnerable, helpless state. The emotional agony is suffocating, tearing at Kyle's soul as he grapples with the terrifying reality that he might lose his father forever to a senseless act of unimaginable violence. Every breath Jack takes feels like a fragile victory, and Kyle is consumed by a desperate need to protect him from any further harm. But that's not all. The tragedy extends far beyond Jack's critical physical condition. Kyle's mother, Diane Jenkins Abbott, is currently out on bail, having been falsely and maliciously accused of committing this heinous crime. Diane, a woman who has fought tooth and nail to redeem herself and rebuild her life and reputation in Genoa City, now finds herself trapped in a living nightmare, facing two horrifying charges of attempted murder. The intricate, diabolical framing orchestrated against her was so flawless and meticulously planned that the Genoa City Police Department bought it hook, line, and sinker. It was only through the quick thinking, massive financial resources, and brilliant legal maneuvering of her attorney that Diane was granted bail, saving her from rotting in a cold jail cell while the real monster roamed free. However, being out on bail offers little comfort when the entire town looks at her with deep suspicion and disgust, whispering terrible accusations behind her back and treating her like a convicted criminal. What's even scarier is the chilling reality that the actual perpetrator, the deeply disturbed and incredibly dangerous Patty Williams, is walking around completely free, brazenly defying the police and the justice system. Patty, whose dark, twisted obsession with Jack Abbott has spanned decades and caused immeasurable pain to the entire Abbott legacy, is once again pulling the strings of a deadly psychological game. With the sinister assistance of the corrupt and manipulative Dr. Lawrence Markham, Patty has managed to construct a web of lies so intricate that she has successfully shifted all the blame onto Diane. Patty's audacity knows no bounds. She revels in the chaos she has unleashed, wandering the streets of Genoa City with a smug, terrifying confidence, completely unbothered by the trail of blood and shattered lives she has left in her wake. She truly believes that she is untouchable, and that Jack will soon be hers. Faced with this unbearable injustice and the agonizing sight of his family being torn apart, Kyle Abbott makes a monumental, life-altering decision. He absolutely refuses to sit idly by and watch his family be destroyed by a madwoman and a fundamentally broken legal system. Kyle takes matters into his own hands, transforming his profound grief and blinding rage into a laser-focused determination to protect his parents at all costs. This marks a massive, defining turning point for his character. Kyle is no longer just the privileged Abbott waiting for the police to do their jobs. He realizes that Detective James Burr and the entire GCPD are chasing ghosts, completely blinded by Dr. Markham's fabricated evidence and Patty's innocent facade. Kyle steps up to become the relentless investigator that the authorities have failed to be, reading between the lines and searching for the hidden truths that everyone else has missed. What nobody realizes is that Kyle's sudden, aggressive actions and his unwavering, fierce defense of his mother are all part of a meticulously calculated master plan. Kyle Abbott is not just making excuses for Diane anymore. He is actively hunting down the undeniable proof needed to shatter Patty's ironclad alibi. He knows that Patty is erratic, highly volatile, and prone to making catastrophic mistakes when her obsession is challenged, and he is ready to capitalize on her very next misstep. For readers and viewers who want to closely follow the developments of this incredibly dangerous, twisted love triangle and corporate thriller, You will definitely want to bookmark this page to catch the latest information. Kyle's rogue investigation is about to blow this entire case wide open in the most spectacular, jaw-dropping fashion imaginable, proving that an abbot will stop at nothing to defend their own blood. Meanwhile, the tension reaches an absolute boiling point at Genoa City Memorial Hospital. Patty Williams, driven by her psychotic delusions and the terrifying realization that Jack might wake up from his coma and remember the horrific truth of her attack, decides she must finish the job once and for all. She cannot risk Jack exposing her crimes and ruining her twisted, deeply ingrained fantasy of them being together forever in a dark romance. With a chilling, calculated calmness that defies logic, Patty secures a nurse's uniform, slipping into the disguise with terrifying ease. She meticulously prepares a lethal syringe, a deadly chemical cocktail designed to silence Jack Abbott permanently and make it look like a tragic medical complication. The sheer malice radiating from Patty as she walks the sterile hospital corridors is palpable. What's even scarier is the methodical, predatory way Patty approaches Jack's hospital room, blending in perfectly with the bustling medical staff. She operates completely under the radar, a deadly phantom moving closer and closer to her helpless, unconscious prey. She knows the security rotations, she has studied the blind spots in the hallways, and she is fully prepared to inject the lethal toxin directly into Jack's fur line, ending his life and cementing her ultimate victory over Diane once and for all. The suspense is absolutely agonizing as she pushes open the heavy wooden door to Jack's intensive care room. Her eyes gleam with a sick, triumphant madness as she looks down at the man she claims to love, ready to murder him in cold blood without a single shred of remorse or hesitation. However, fate and a fiercely devoted son has entirely other plans for this dark night. Driven by a powerful, undeniable gut feeling and a lingering, nagging suspicion that Patty would not leave well enough alone, Kyle arrives at the hospital to check on his father during the late hours. As he approaches the intensive care unit, his sharp eyes catch a glimpse of a nurse hovering entirely too close to Jack's room. Something about her rigid posture, her frantic, nervous energy, and the deliberate way she tries to conceal her face from the hallway lights sets off massive alarm bells in Kyle's mind. His protective instincts flare to life with explosive force, and he accelerates his pace. His heart pounding furiously in his chest as he realizes the unimaginable danger lurking just feet away from his vulnerable father. Kyle intercepts the disguised Patty just outside the room, blocking her path with an intimidating and yielding physical presence. He demands to know what she is doing, his voice laced with a lethal combination of deep-seated fear and explosive fury. When Patty tries to brush past him, muttering confusing medical jargon to maintain her fragile cover, Kyle recognizes the unmistakable, manic glint in her eyes. The disguise falls apart completely in his mind, and he realizes with absolute horror that he is standing face to face with the very woman who stabbed his father. A terrifying, high-stakes confrontation erupts right there in the dimly lit hospital hallway. A desperate clash between a son fighting for his father's life and a mad woman fighting for her twisted survival. But that's not all. The intense confrontation quickly escalates from a heated verbal standoff into a violent, desperate physical struggle. Patty, realizing she has been caught red-handed, panics and lunges toward Jack's room, desperate to plunge the lethal syringe into his veins before Kyle can stop her. Kyle tackles her with incredible force, using every ounce of his strength to hold her back, wrestling the deadly weapon away from her trembling grasp. The scuffle is chaotic, brutal, and incredibly loud, echoing terrifyingly through the quiet hospital wing as medical carts are shoved aside. Patty fights back with the frantic, unpredictable strength of a cornered animal, hissing venomous threats and screaming that she is the only woman who truly loves Jack Abbott and deserves to be by his side. Nobody expected that during this chaotic, life-or-death struggle, a crucial piece of hospital technology would become the ultimate game-changer in this twisted saga. Whether intentionally triggered by Kyle in a moment of brilliant, tactical foresight, or accidentally activated during the violent, tumbling scuffle, the hospital's high-definition security camera system captures every single second of the horrific encounter. The unblinking lens records Patty Williams in her deceptive nurse's disguise, wielding the lethal syringe, and aggressively attempting to murder Jack Abbott. It perfectly captures her manic confessions and her violent physical assault on Kyle, providing a crystal clear, undeniable digital record of her murderous intentions and her absolute, undeniable guilt in this entire conspiracy. The irrefutable video evidence is immediately secured by the hospital's security team and handed over to the authorities. The shocking footage is swiftly delivered to Michael Baldwin and District Attorney Christine Blair Romalotti, who were absolutely stunned by the undeniable proof of Patty's heinous guilt. The fabricated, manipulative narrative meticulously constructed by Patty and Dr. Markham shatters instantly under the crushing weight of this concrete evidence. The police swarmed the hospital corridors in massive numbers, placing Patty Williams under immediate, forceful arrest, finally slapping the cold steel handcuffs on the true monster of Genoa City. The suffocating nightmare that has plagued the Abbott family is abruptly brought to a screeching halt, all thanks to Kyle's unwavering bravery. With Patty securely behind bars and facing decades in prison, Diane Jenkins Abbott is officially and completely exonerated, cleared of all the horrific murder charges that threatened to steal her freedom and her life. The dark, oppressive cloud hanging over the Abbott family finally begins to lift, paving the way for Jack's safe medical recovery and a deeply emotional, tear-filled family reunion that fans have been praying for. But we have a highly controversial prediction for you to ponder. Even though Kyle ultimately saved the day, will Diane truly forgive him and Jack for the agonizing moments they doubted her innocence? Or will this traumatic ordeal push Diane to embrace her dark side once again and launch a massive and forgiving revenge plot against everyone who wronged her? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.